Good morning. We're on to Thursday morning now. I've got they're just normal eye protective glasses, but they're tinted because it's a bit bright this morning for me. So it's like 7:30, so that's probably why. As you saw from the footage, I was starting off the fill-in yesterday, so I actually went to start it and then realised that I didn't have the filler that I wanted to use. There's about 4 different types of filler that I use. One of them is like a fiberglass one, but there's kind of like 3 grades of filler that I use, and I only had the deeper one, and that would be overkill for this. And you don't want to put more filler on it than you need to, and you don't want to use a deeper one than you need to either, because it's just more sanding. So what I've done is I've just put some on just now, and what I'm going to do now is cut it back with 80 or 120, something like that, and then sort of basically see how it feels. So that's actually filled in pretty well. As I mentioned, it didn't need a lot of filler, but you're always going to need some, especially on an old car that's already got filler in it. So let me show you. So yeah, put it on, put quite a lot of hardener on it, probably because I wanted it to dry quickly, but probably a little bit too much because it dried a little bit more quickly than I wanted, so I had to apply it quite quickly. But it just gets some filler on the panel, and so basically now what I'm going to do is just cut back the sticky out bits from where you've got the edge of the spreader. So yeah, so basically just kind of taking off the the kind of higher bits and seeing where we are in terms of, does it feel quite flat? I mean, you can feel it's a little bit recessed there, so I'm going to put a little bit more in there. So basically that's kind of the plan, just get it so that it's feeling like a nice shape. And once I'm happy with that, then what I'll do, obviously I'm going to feather the edges into the existing paint. Then what I'll do is I'll use a really fine sort of finishing filler, and that will be good for that. So I did go and get paint yesterday, which I will show you. I'll put some pictures up. I took the fuel cap in. Let me switch back over. Yeah, I took the fuel cap in to get the spectrometer put on it to match the colour of paint. Obviously, it's a lot easier with a modern car. I would tend to get a spectrometer put on it anyway, because unless there's a choice of different shades, the chances of, depends on the age of the car, but the chances of the original colour matching the same aren't that high, because obviously paint fades over time. So, but especially on something like this, obviously good to try and get the best match possible. So this is a 1965 car, and the closest match, it wasn't a great match. Let me show you, I'll put it up on the screen. So it's a 1975 Renault colour. It's a pretty good match to the fuel cap that I took in, but this car's had various bits of paintwork done at various times, and the fuel cap's actually a different shade from this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a dark grey primer just to try and dull it down a little bit, because it's a little bit lighter, and we'll see where we go from there. But the problem is, obviously, already the car's different shades. The panels are different shades, the roof's a different shade because the paint's a lot thinner, the bonnet's a different shade. So the only way to make it completely uniform is to paint the whole car, or to decide which shade you kind of want it, because obviously if that side's the shade of the paint that I got, and then the boot's pretty similar, then that should be not too far off for this, but then the doors and things are not going to be quite the same. So we'll see how it comes out. Worst case scenario, this is all the hard work. Painting doesn't take a long time. The hard work's all in the prep, getting it ready to paint. So worst case scenario, what we could do is actually just take the car in and have another go at getting something that's a bit closer if we're not happy with the results. It's really important that the customer's happy with the results within the realms of possibility. So we'll see how we get on, but we're gonna get it
get it filled, get it primed, and then we'll paint it and see how it comes out.
Alright, so just to show you what I was getting up to in that time lapse, I've sanded down what I'd filled last night, and that was just kind of like not too thick a layer to get some filler on there, and I've basically kind of had a good feel of it. It's all really to do with feel when it comes to bodywork, whether you're polishing or sanding scratches on a painted car, doing paint correction, or filling and sanding, and even painting. It's really like a lot to do. You spend a lot of time touching the panel to feel how it is. So I kind of felt the low spots in it, and I've put some extra filler on those bits. Been back over to the other side of the car, had a look at that, had a feel of that. So that should just be nice and flush straight down. So basically just filling that in to make sure that that's exactly how that is. I've used some deeper filler on this part down here, basically because the replacement panels is pretty good, but comparing it to the other side, it's kind of like a bit more flush, and then it kind of bows out to meet the rear arch. So, and in between the rear arch and the sill, there's basically just like a wee line in the filler. So I'm gonna obviously recreate as best I can the other side. That might not be original because the other side's possibly been done as well, but obviously we want both sides of the car to match. So yeah, that's where I am. So I'm gonna leave this for a while to dry. I like to leave it for longer than it says. So I'm gonna clock off this job and I'm gonna go and read some fault codes on that 911 that's sitting through there, because it has an airbag light on, and we're still waiting for the power steering pipes. So I may as well go and do that and see what it's saying. Okay, that time lapse that you just saw and the little bit of narration before it was actually shot at the end of August, and we're now at the beginning of November. So needless to say, this was on the back burner for a little while, and basically just because I went pretty quickly from making a living from DJing to having to make a living from the car company, which was never the original intention, but that's okay. And so had mounting jobs mounting up that people were wanting me to do, and didn't want to get a reputation for taking too long to do everything. So had to get through, or chose to get through some of them. And basically what I've been doing is just kind of jumping on and off this in between times. So this is prepped now, ready to paint, which I'm just about to do. I'm just about to paint it. So I didn't bother filming it all because you kind of saw what I was doing. I was filling it, and then I was sanding it, and then I was refilling it, and that basically goes on and on for a while to get to where you want it to be, kind of thing. So so basically it's all ready now just for me to paint with the 2K. So I'm going to do that just now, and then that will be this job done, which is great. So yeah, we'll see how we go on. We've spoken about the colour before and the fact that the other side's a different side from this, and I took the fuel cap which is from the other side, so it's probably not going to match that well, but it's hard to tell until we put the colour on, so we'll see. So we might end up doing some more paintwork on it. We'll see what happens. Really just depends on what colour the customer wants the car, because obviously if it's different shades, then do we want it all the same colour, or how far do we want to go? Because obviously it's one of many cars in a collection, and you can imagine that if that's the case, you've got lots of cars, you probably want to do what you need to do rather than absolutely everything that could be done on all of them, which would be extremely expensive. So anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. I'm basically just going to set this up, and I'm going to give it a quick clean, and yeah, just get it painted, and we'll see how it comes out. So I'll show you the car briefly. So yeah, it's all there. Don't worry if you can see through any bits, because there is some clear primer on there as well, so it is all primed. And so it's scuffed up with 500 or sanded with 500, and if you remember, we're going to have to paint down onto the sill as well. So that's basically where we are with it. So I used the filler you saw me using, then a milder filler, and then a milder filler down to a glaze, and that's basically the process, and then priming it. It was pretty smooth, just in filler, which is normally what I aim for. So just a coat of primer really for adhesion rather than to fill much in really. So there we go. We'll see how it turns out. Well, finally that's it painted. That's been a long haul, but it's really good to have it done. So it's still dry and I've literally just finished painting it, but I'll let you have a look. I'm not going to get too close because I don't want to risk getting any dust in the paint or anything. Should really be out the booth now that it's finished, just to let it dry. But yeah, it's gone down nice. It's the first time I've actually painted with 2K. Everything else I've done has been base and clear. But 2K is mainly just old cars like this and vans. Some vans are 2K, although the newer ones will be base and clear as well, unless they're white, I would guess maybe. So yeah, it's gone down well, and the colour match is actually pretty good for a panel to panel match, because if you look at the door there, I've not painted the door, and then you look at the sill, I've painted the sill. So that's pretty good going for, as I say, for not having blended it. So and it looks like that's fairly close to the boot lid and also to the roof. I'm noticing that this panel here's a slightly different colour to the roof and the boot lid, so that might be something that we might paint further down the line, but really just depends on what the customer is happy with. But I'm really happy with that. I think that's gone down really well. It's been a long haul to get this car to this stage. From what wasn't meant to be too big a job to what ended up being, well, what others have sort of labelled as more like a kind of restoration than a body shop job. I mean, it's just a part of the car, so not like a full restoration or anything, but yeah, reasonable sized job, cutting that out, trying to do a bit of fabrication, welding in new bits, and then trying to get it pretty straight. So there we go. So thanks for watching this series. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm not sure what the next series is going to be. I'm still working towards trying to get started on the new series, flipping my own cars, and very much still going to be doing that. And in the meantime, I'll probably start filming something else, but I'll not say too much about it here because that's what the Rookie Entrepreneur series is about, but I'm taking over a body shop from the 1st of December, so that will mean that there's a lot more bodywork going on, and I'll be spending a lot more time doing car work, so that'd be great. Looking forward to that. So I'll leave you there, and thank you for watching. I'll probably put some pictures of the car up on, maybe just a wee reel of the car once it's outside, just to let you have a look. But yeah, there we go. Here endeth the Triumph series. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing or sharing it so other people can find the channel as well. Thanks.